I'm Starborn. Welcome to our show. The reason why it's a little different tonight and we don't have our regular opening is because we have so much information to give you. And that is because if you've been looking at our website, starborninstitute.org, you would already know that the title of tonight's show is Deadlock. And because that's a rather serious title, we thought we'd take a few extra moments and explain what you might be facing this week. And the reason why deadlock is certainly going to be coming up in all of our lives is because there are 6 planets in the fixed signs. There are 4 fixed signs: Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. And since there are 6 out of the 10 planets in only these 4 fixed signs making a grand cross, it means that there are a lot of people who are hardening their attitudes right now, particularly about money. And this will probably affect you in one way or another, particularly in the next week. And then the following week, we will be talking about a new moon in Scorpio, which is a financial sign, and that is when we might be seeing the deadlock break up a little bit. But for now, what do you have to look forward to? Well, there can be a lot of heavy hitters out there right now, ready to sort of go to war or ready to argue their point of view to the exclusion of everything else. And so if you do not have the kind of temperament that likes to get in a bad fight, I suggest you sit it out this week. It would be safer for you. And the reason why is the Moon and Mars today are in Leo, indicating perhaps greed, passion, and certainly a lot of jealousy going on. And so with the Moon and Mars in Leo being square Venus and Mercury in Scorpio, a financial sign, it simply means that people who do have money and want to share it with others are going to be asking themselves who deserves it. And they will be running up against other people who are not concerned with whether they deserve the money or not. They just want it. That's what I mean about the greed element. So those 4 planets, particularly Mars and Venus, are going head to head, creating quite a deadlock this week. And they are being squared and opposed by 2 other planets. For instance, Jupiter in Taurus is opposing Venus and Mercury in Scorpio. It is squaring Mars and the Moon in Leo, and it is also squaring Neptune in Aquarius, which rules the future. So we have got an awful lot of people that want to make their dreams come true. We've got people that want to invest money or are looking for bargains. We have people that want to share or who are concerned with trying to divide up the money in a way that is just and fair. And then we've got the people that just feel they are entitled to it no matter what, or they would like to grab some money and hopefully it's not yours. And so what we're seeing is that that deadlock simply means that that the battle lines are hardening and that there are people who are not going to give an inch. They are going to really be adamant, and they are going to have different motivations for that, but it can make your life rather uncomfortable in the coming week. However, if we can get past that, and if there can be some way that people can sort of rise to their higher good and perhaps listen to people who are older and wiser or more experienced, since the Sun and Saturn are still in Libra, there is the possibility that some sort of balance or harmony can be achieved, or even a truce could be achieved now, but it would be on hard terms, or it would be that people who are used to driving a hard bargain are really ready to come at each other, but in the end they may realize that they don't have the money to wage war, or that something very expensive cannot continue, and therefore in order to cut their losses they may agree on some sort of peace or truce, and that would be good. It's just that there are a lot of people now who are ready to really go after what they want, either because of greed, jealousy, or passion, or simply because they want to grab something that belongs to somebody else, or it can simply be that they want to make a very good investment right now, or they're terribly worried about their future. It doesn't matter where you're coming from in this next week, you probably are not going to get where you want to go because there will be too many roadblocks or there will be too much disagreement. So if you can accept the fact that we are in a deadlock situation at the moment and that it can be resolved perhaps as early as next week's new moon, then with a little bit of patience, I think you can get through this. All right, what does it mean to all 12 of the sun signs? Well, Aries, for you, I think that a deadlock isn't going to bother you at all. And the reason why is that actually there have been a lot of planets in cardinal signs, and yours is a cardinal sign, and the Sun and Saturn in Libra are still opposing your sign. But the strength now is from the planets that have shifted into fixed signs. And that simply takes a little bit of the pressure off you, Aries, because whatever arguments or policy differences are going on, they're happening at a little bit higher level. And I think that it's that there is not enough money to go around, and these are not the good old days, so people are deadlocked and very staunch in their attitudes. While they are like that, Aries, you can be very concerned with making some sort of new start, and I think you have to right now. A lot of people are not going to be able to maintain the status quo, and that includes you, Aries. And the reason why is because the Sun and Saturn are so close together, and that makes them very powerful, and they are opposing your Sun. So some edict or some legal decision or some partnership matter has gone against you, and for that reason I think you do have to start out in a new direction. But who cares what the reason is, Aries? You're excellent at new starts, and with that Moon and Mars in Leo trining your Sun, you're going to get a big boost, perhaps from a woman who will help you move into a new position or start something new that you can be successful at. So I would certainly look forward, Aries, and not back. All right, what does it mean to a Taurus? Well, Taurus, this is a time, since Jupiter is in your sign, but yours is a fixed sign, and there really are 6 planets all squaring and opposing each other in fixed signs right now. This is a time when that Jupiter in Taurus may not be doing you as much good as you would like. And so your expenses could be higher right now, or there could be unexpected expenses, or what I think is that there may be a tax matter or a change in tax policy that can adversely affect you, and that the sooner you find out about it and the sooner you adjust your investments, the better. And so this may be a time when you are having to decide who the money should go to or who you want to spend your money on, and you may be changing your mind about some things simply because there isn't enough money to go around, and some of your investments may have decreased in value lately. In fact, a lot of people's have. So this is simply a time when your optimism and your confidence in yourself are still pretty high, but that you cannot count on others the way you used to, Taurus. And so I think you're going to have to take matters into your own hand and do your own thinking, and particularly when it comes to the dispersal of funds. I think what you're wanting to do is the fair thing and something that will be just and fair to your loved ones. And so this may be a time when you're going to have to part with money, because either you give it to your loved ones or someone else takes it. And you would not like that since you worked so hard for it. And so I would say that this is a time when you need to be very, very careful to sort of get all your eggs in one basket and then disperse them to the ones you love, Taurus, because that's what you do best anyway. All right, what does it mean to a Gemini? Well, Gemini, this is simply a time, since yours is a mutable sign, when you are not caught up in the deadlock either. And you do not have a deadlocked nature. Gemini is the sign of adaptability and flexibility. And your sign is a double-bodied sign, meaning that you like to do temporary or short-term projects and move from one to another. So you don't have a fixed nature at all, Gemini, which is good. So you may be able somehow to get past the deadlock and go on your merry way anyway, with some very strong backing, and that is because the Sun and Saturn in Libra do still trine your Sun, and Neptune in Aquarius does as well. So while others are wedged in intractable positions or attitudes, you yourself are probably going to get some help, or you may know some people who are starting out in new directions and may include you in their plans as well, Gemini. So I think you escaped the deadlock this week, and you should really look for new avenues to pursue, Gemini, because you don't like to be boxed in. It doesn't bring out the best in you. So if you are looking for change, now is an optimum time to look a little harder, Gemini, because I'm sure you'd love that. All right, what does it mean to a Cancer? Well, Cancer, this is simply a time when the pressure is off you a little bit, and the reason why is because there are not as many planets in cardinal signs the way there have been all summer long, causing a lack of consensus. It's actually a little bit worse than that right now, Cancer, not for you, but for people in general, because at a higher level, such as a government or a corporate level, or in a legal sense, people are making very strident policies right now, and they're in conflict. Okay, deadlock means a lot of conflict because people are not willing to budge an inch right now, and I think it centers around money. But speaking of finances, Cancer, I think yours are going to improve, and the reason why is that Venus, the planet of love and partnership and sharing, is in Scorpio along with Mercury, which indicates news, and there can be good news about money. And those two planets are trining your sun, so that simply means good money can be coming your way. And the main question on everyone's mind is, if there's money around, who deserves it? And it looks to me, Cancer, as if people are in agreement that you deserve it. And so I think both you and Pisces and Scorpio do benefit, particularly under next week's new moon in Scorpio. You do benefit financially, so there should be good news about money on your horizon very soon. Congratulations. All right, what does it mean to a Leo? Well, Leo, you surely are deadlocked about something right now, and you can be so boxed in that you can't move at all, and I think that could make you angry. Remember, Mars is the planet of anger, and along with the moon, it's in your sign today, and it is being sorely aspected because it is being squared exactly by Venus in Scorpio and also by Mercury there. It's being opposed by Neptune, and it's being squared by Jupiter in Taurus. So where's the money, Leo? I'm sure you're asking yourself that question, and I'm sure you'd like to sort of grab on to a little bit more right now because your expenses could be high as well, and that could be in relation to future plans that you have. But I don't see the money coming your way right now, Leo. I really don't see it coming your way. Jupiter is square your sun, and so is Venus. So as far as sharing goes, I don't think anyone has you in mind, Leo. And in fact, there can simply be people that are aware that these are not the good old days. And you may be the last one to realize that, Leo, that these are not the good old days. Policies are changing. People are in intractable positions. They are all asking themselves who deserves it and who doesn't. And in answer to that question, I would say that a lot of people are feeling as if you don't deserve at least any more. And so I think you're going to come up a little bit short financially, Leo. However, if you have money of your own to invest in something, then you'll be able to go forward on something new, and that can get you out of that intractable position. But if you're a little short of cash, I think you're even going to be shorter in the future as money goes to others, simply because there's not enough of it anymore, so it can't be coming to you either. Okay, what does it mean to a Virgo? Well, Virgo, you're always careful about money, and the reason why is that your sign rules accounting. And Jupiter in Taurus does trine your sun, and Pluto in Capricorn also trines your sun. So I don't think that you actually have financial worries as such, Virgo. It is simply that since yours is a mutable sign, you're a little bit off the hook right now. And the reason why I say that is because the tension and the stress and the hardening of the battle lines are among planets in fixed signs. They're among people who are not flexible anyway, and they're really not flexible now. So that's why I think you're off the hook, Virgo. Whatever is being asked about financial matters or is being discussed right now or decided doesn't have much to do with you, Virgo, and I don't think you're worried about the outcome anyway. So in a way, this can be a rather quiet week for you as you sort of just go right along doing what you always do, very, very quietly. And I think if you spent this week sort of ducking under the radar, you'd feel really good about that, Virgo. So I would stay on the sidelines if I were you and just sort of mind your own business, because there's no way you can affect change, and the change isn't about you anyway. So I think you get a pass on this week. Lucky you. All right, what does it mean to a Libra? Well, Libra, I think that if anyone is going to come out and make some sort of trustworthy commitment or take on extra responsibility or carry an extra burden for others in a partnership, it would be you. Or if you have decided to increase your responsibility either in your workplace or in a business that you may be starting or involved with, or if you're making a greater commitment to some organization right now, that is, I don't think anyone can stop you, because that is what you feel like doing. It would be based on your years of experience, and it would be based on the fact that people do trust you. In other words, you have integrity, and you have proven it, and you have very high standards, which you have insisted upon, particularly in the last year while Saturn has been in your sun sign, and Saturn will stay there for another year. So I don't think you're wavering in your commitment, but you may be deciding to increase it now, and that may be your only choice, Libra, as you too are facing your future, and someone's got to roll up their sleeves and take on extra burdens and do extra work. And so I think that's you, Libra, but you are well equipped for it, and you will earn even greater respect. So it may be something that you are called to do, and I think you'll do really well. Okay, what does it mean to a Scorpio? Well, Scorpio, lucky you. You have Venus and Mercury in your sign right now, which is a financial sign. Scorpio rules inheritance, taxes, credit, loans, research funds, and money coming in from any other source. Because Venus, the planet of love, is in your sign, Scorpio, you don't want to fight with anybody, but your sign is involved in this deadlock. It's just that even though your sign rules war, you are not interested in making war or coming on too strong right now, because actually I think you would rather find some way to have balance and harmony and a peace, even if it is on strict terms. And so you are a person who may have money and be asking yourself, who deserves it? And that question will actually be answered better by you and everyone next week when there is a new moon in your sun sign, and there will be 4 planets in your sun sign as well. So the deadlock does break up, and it seems to break up in your favor by next week, Scorpio. But for right now, you can be facing quite an onslaught of harsh criticism or jealousy, because Mars and the moon in Leo are square your sun, and Neptune in Aquarius is also square your sun, meaning not everyone is telling you the whole truth. And also Jupiter in Taurus is opposing your sun, which means that people want to sort of hang on to their money rather than share it, but you yourself are rather in a sharing mood instead. I think good news about money can be certainly headed your way, Scorpio, and whatever money is coming to you is certainly well deserved, even if it has been a little bit delayed. All right, what does it mean to a Sagittarius? Well, Sagittarius, you cannot be as concerned about money as you are about action, and that's because the fire signs love action. And that's good, because with the moon and Mars in Leo trining your sun, you certainly could be getting a lot of prodding by a woman or a man that wants you to go into motion and work even harder or excel in one way, and they are rather adamant about you doing that. Well, maybe that's what you need. Maybe you need somebody to light a little fire underneath you, Sagittarius, and I think you are getting pressure from some source. But also Uranus in Aries is trining your sun. So 3 good planets are all trining your sun, and since Uranus does rule the future, there certainly is some sort of talk around either that you are included in, or it can be coming from people you know, who are wanting to initiate a new start. I don't think it is a new start that is coming out of the blue. I think it is something that has to originate because something else has ended. And since something has ended, there has to be a new start. Well, you know, I think that's going to be okay with you, Sagittarius. So I think that you are a person that should not be a couch potato right now. You should be out sort of looking to see what's going on because you don't have a fixed attitude about things. And in fact, you can be quite a big help to other people right now, or you can share your knowledge with others and help them advance their own interest. In other words, Sagittarius does rule teaching, and it also rules travel, and it rules philosophy and religion. So you may be finding yourself involved with others who are wanting to make some sort of deep commitment or change. I don't think, since this is going to be a week of deadlock, I don't think change is underway right now, but there can certainly be people that have that on their mind, and you might be helping them plan it. Okay, what does it mean to a Capricorn? Well, Capricorn, yours is a cardinal sign which has been sorely affected by the challenging squares and oppositions from planets in other cardinal signs since this summer. Okay, and so this is simply a time when you can be wondering why nobody is getting on your case right now. It is because nobody can really decide what to do. And so there is a lot of hard talk or harsh attitudes right now coming from people who are absolutely convinced they are right and they are not wanting to adapt to anyone else's point of view. And so what I advise you, Capricorn, is that this is a very good time for you to do what you do best. And that is look at the fine print. In other words, Capricorn rules bureaucracies. Capricorn rules administrative steps that have to be taken one after another in order to achieve a goal or to form some sort of policy or plan. Well, as people are deadlocked, I don't think that there's going to be a resolution right now, but there will be. It's coming up. And instead, for right now, I think that you would do yourself proud if you were very well informed on what the proposed changes could be in government policies or in large corporations or among management that you are involved with. For instance, just in a group. You really need to know what the possibilities for change are, what the new rules would be, and when they might go into effect. Because there certainly is going to be a downsizing throughout the world. If anything, this could be the decade of decline. And so, and that is because there are going to be 4 triple eclipses in this one decade. There was only one decade in the last century when there were 5 triple eclipses, and that was the 1930s, the decade of the Great Depression. So now that there's only going to be 4 triple eclipses in this decade, I would say this is at least going to be the decade of a great decline. And you will need to adjust to that, just as we all will, Capricorn. But you are uniquely suited to be able to read the fine print and understand all the policies. And so you may end up being a big help to everyone else. And that's how you can safeguard your own future as well. So read on, Capricorn. Being informed is really wise at this point. Okay, what does it mean to an Aquarian? Well, Aquarius, the future is certainly upon you, and that is because your ruler, Uranus, is being trined by the moon and Mars in Leo. So there can be somebody that is pressing for change in the future or to make dreams come true in the future. And Neptune is in your sign, Aquarius, and it is being beautifully trined by the Sun and Saturn in Libra. And so, yes, you still have your dreams, but no, you don't have enough money, do you, Aquarius? And that is because there are planets in fixed signs now, and yours is a fixed sign. So your sign is under duress from other people whose attitudes are so stringent that you are actually involved in some sort of deadlock. It may not be a deadlock of your choosing, Aquarius, but you can still be affected by it as you wait on funds. And I think you are going to continue to wait until that deadlock unlocks or the logjam unfolds after the new moon in Scorpio next week, which will square your sun. And Venus and Mercury in Scorpio are squaring your sun right now, and Jupiter in Taurus is too. And the trouble's coming from the fact that the moon and Mars in Leo today are opposing your sun. So somebody, perhaps a woman, is extremely critical of you or is demanding quite a bit of you, Aquarius, or else is very jealous and is wanting to do mean things, and they could be directed toward you. Yours is a fixed sign, though, and fixed signs are really tough, Aquarius, so you can withstand pressure right now if you have to, simply by escaping a current intractable situation and thinking about your dreams, which are still aspected come true, particularly after Neptune goes direct. And you can always fall back on reliable sources that you have known for a very long time, because the Sun and Saturn in Libra are trine your Sun. I would look for better partners or go back to old partners right now, Aquarius, because they're not going to hurt you and they're not jealous of you either. And so this is simply a time when if you fell back a little bit, you would be safer than trying to come up against people who are really adamant in their viewpoints. It's just going to be a deadlock if you stay where you are. So if I were you, I'd retreat a little bit, Aquarius. I think that would actually work out better for you. All right, what does it mean to a Pisces? Well, Pisces, this is simply a time that you can be very lucky, just the way Cancer is, because Venus and Mercury in Scorpio are trining your Sun, which is wonderful. So there can be some good news about money or financing coming your way, Pisces. And I don't think you are involved in a deadlock, but that can be occurring around you, as it can be happening for all of us. And so as others get a little bit angry or extremely stubborn about their own point of view, if I were you, I'd avoid those people, Pisces. They do not have your best interests in mind, so I would just ignore them and instead try to concentrate on getting more financing yourself, because I think the news could be good about that for you. And the new moon in Scorpio next week is going to trine your Sun, and that simply means there can be a lot of light on some financial issue that can benefit you, such as better terms on credit, or a loan that becomes available, or even an inheritance. So you have all of that to look forward to. So don't get caught in a deadlock, Pisces, because it's also going to be a dead end, and you can avoid it if you want to. All right, thanks so much for tuning in. We're not going to have any ending credits this week either, because we had so much news to impart to you, and I want to encourage you to withstand a deadlock right now. I'll see you next week right here on Thursday at 7 p.m. for Starborn. Bye.